So we'll start off laying down tonight. We'll take some time just breathing here. So close your eyes. And you might take some time to fidget. Okay, fidgeting is really nice. Get your knees and elbows all where you want them. I like a little bend in the knees just to allow the low back to release after a long day. So you might try something like that, especially if you've been sitting a lot. And if you are feeling tight in your chest from working, for days, you might externally rotate your shoulders. So flip your palms up and kind of bend in your elbows. Scoot the shoulder blades underneath your heart and feel like your chest is kind of puffing up and open to the ceiling. And take your time, just letting your breath get big. Take a little bit longer with each breath. Exhale a little bit more deeply each time. Expand a little more with each inhale. So we want to start to feel here like we're really compressing and expanding all the tissues of your torso with this breath, which is what we're doing. So your organs are getting a massage here. All your tissues in your torso are. And as you breathe like this and settle into a bigger, deeper breath, see if you could release any tension from any joints that feel sticky. Notice where your body tends to hold on. Sometimes it's helpful to imagine you could breathe into and out of places that feel tense. For example, if your hips feel tense, you can just imagine that you could actually breathe into and out of that muscle, like you had gills there. And allow it to slowly release. Allow your jaw to relax. Let your eyebrows drift away from each other. Maybe try a little face yoga here and smile. Notice how it feels to breathe and smile. Well, let's start to move just a little bit here. So reach your arms up overhead. And we're going to make big snow angel arms here, reaching the arms out to the side, sweeping them very low to the ground until you bump your hands against your hips. And then sweeping back out very close to the ground, back overhead. So let's take a few more breaths, moving like this. Think of big, huge wings. As you move, keep a really long neck. And keep your shoulders as active as you can. So not collapsing into the shoulders. We're actually plugging each arm into the shoulder socket. We want to feel this big spaciousness across the fronts of the shoulders. Next time your arms reach up overhead, let's pause them right there and really reach through your fingers and toes. So take a really nice stretch. Get as long as you can, and maybe even a little bit longer. You can scoot your hips away from your shoulders, scoot your heels out. Remember to keep a long neck, okay? And then let's play around with the shape. What happens if we make ourselves a little bit longer on the right? So reach out a little bit more through your right toes, a little bit more through your right hand, and start to contract a little bit in the left side. So we'll start to bend our long shape into more of a crescent shape, walking your feet out to the right, to the left, and walking your hands out to the left. Breathe here, big stretch in the right side. So think of pulling your belly button down and pointing your tailbone at your toes. Maybe deepen this right side opening by picking up your right ankle and hooking it on your left. Maybe take it a little further into your upper body by grabbing the right wrist with the left hand on the floor, moving it all the way to the left. We'll take a few more breaths here. Press down into your shoulder blades, your glutes. Find some space in that right armpit you didn't even know you needed. And then we'll let this go and we'll bring it back through center. And let's do the same thing on the left side. So now reaching out a little bit longer through the left arm and leg. Okay, reach. Okay, contracting a little bit in the right side. We can start to bend so that the feet and the hands are moving out to the right. So take some time here, just enjoying that feeling. Remember to pull your belly button down toward the ground. Maybe deepen it by crossing the left ankle over the right. Maybe grabbing that left wrist with your right hand on the floor, moving it to the right. So think of pressing your back body into the floor. Breathing into that left side. As you are ready, come on back through center. Reach out one more time, really long as you can be. And then bend your elbows, take both arms out to the side. So cactus arms, I like to call this. And think of keeping your upper body active, pressing your shoulders into the floor so that your chest stays really big and your upper body feels really stable. So doing that, we can have a lot of mobility to twist in the lower body. So bring your knees up and over your hips, and we'll start to hover them side to side. So hover on one side, come through center, hover on the other. And take some time here, side to side. We want to keep the shoulder blades grounded, and we definitely want to keep breathing. So notice the low back twisting. Okay, feels a nice massage for your glutes too. All right, and next time the knees drop out to the right, let them fall to the right, okay? You might pick up your hips and scoot them a little more to the left so that the twist is kind of more twisty. And then we're gonna look all the way to the left. Big breath here. So I'm gonna give you some options to play around with in this twist. You can keep your knees together okay? Or you can grab the top knee with your right hand and start to extend your left leg and point your left toes away from the top of your head. Sorry, your right toes. Extending your right leg. Right toe is moving away from the top of your head. So a big breath here. Maybe 3 more long, slow breaths. Think of arching your spine up as you press your shoulder blades down. And remember, on your exhales, pull your belly button into your spine to deepen your twist. Maybe 1 more breath. Twists are great for massaging your whole spine and torso and organs. Let's bring that back in. So both knees back in towards your chest. And let's drop the knees to the other side. So drop them to the left. Maybe pick up your hips and scooch them more to the right so the twist is more twisty. And let's look to the right. So decide if you are happy in this form of the twist with both knees toward each other together over there on the left. Or decide if maybe you want to grab a knee with the left hand. So left hand grabs right knee. Now the left leg extends underneath. And those left toes point away from the top of your head. So no matter where you are, breathe, press the floor away. Think of arching your spine up. Remember to use your strong belly on your exhales. Let's bring that back through center. Both knees come back in. And here we can grab one knee in each hand, maybe kind of stir each leg bone around in its hip socket. So make some big circles here. We want to think of rolling the low back around to maybe reverse your circles if you were going in one direction for a while. Okay, and then let's bring the knees back in towards center. Go ahead and tuck your hands behind your knees and rock yourself up to a seat. If you point your knees out to one side, we can flip it over to hands and knees. I'll meet you there. Let's just do some cat-cows, just getting a little bit more mobile in your spine. Okay, so gripping the mat, heart pulls forward between your elbows on the inhale. Think of lifting your belly button. And as you exhale, push the floor away. You can drop your head, shake it out. Ooh, it's a nice release for your neck. So let's take a few more rounds like that. Inhaling, heart pulls forward. Exhaling, push the floor away. Maybe close your eyes as you just kind of move very fluidly here. I really want you to look for little sore places in your torso, maybe between your ribs, around your shoulders. See if you can roll and kind of snake them out. And next time you come up into a cow posture, okay, pulling your heart forward, belly button pulling in. We're going to hold here and just breathe for a little while. So keep the heart pulling so your hands are actively pulling back on the mat. Big breaths in, big breaths out. One more big breath in here. And exhale, push the floor away. Now let's hold here in cat pose for a few more breaths. Push the floor down, down, down. Stretch, open your back. Big exhales, big inhales. All right, as you're ready, let that go. Come on back to a flat back. Okay, let's get the right knee up here and start to circle out the hip. So keep your hip level for now. Your two hips perfectly level with each other. Okay, notice it's tempting to lift the right hip, but what happens if we just keep it low for now? And let's rewind it. All the places you can send your knee without lifting that hip. Okay, now let's open up the hip. Let's pick up the right hip, stack it on top of the left. Make really big circles. Ridiculous circles with your knee. So you're really trying to use 100% of the hip that you have here. So we can any release. Okay, rewind that. Big silly circles. All right, next time the right knee comes forward, just step the right foot by your right hand. And we'll rock the hips forward and back a few times. Rock back, rock forward. Do your best to keep your spine long here. And notice if you tend to round your spine, you can come up on your fingertips for a little extra length. So notice when we pull the hips back, we can open up the back of the right leg. When we press the hips forward, we open up the front of the left hip. All right, so come forward into your little low lunge here with the right knee bent, your hands under your shoulders, and we'll just pause right here. So if you have a block or something that you want to put underneath your hands to keep you more up here, go for it. But we're going to spend some time in this low lunge, just gently resisting the floor. So maybe you just give it 5% of your strength, just pushing down into the floor with your legs. There are a lot of little things you can play around with here as you hold and breathe in your low lunge, and I'll give you some flavors to play with. You might walk your right foot out to the right if you choose, kind of give you a little bit more space in your hips. You might come down to 1 or 2 elbows. Okay. And then see if you want to check your hips out. Could your hips be a little bit more level with the mat? You might notice your left hip dipping very low beneath your right. What if they were level with each other? So little things to play with. Go ahead and drop your head. Let your neck be long. And then wherever you are in your twist, whether you're on your elbows, your hands, or a block, just pause where you are. You can stay elbow, hands, or block, and just look at your right knee. Look at the inside of your right knee. So you're turning to look in that direction. And then take your right hand to the inside of your right knee and gently press. Just a very gentle press. So nothing crazy, nothing painful. And if you'd like to stay here, if this is quite enough, then please stay here. But if you like, you can bend that left knee, point the left toes up at the ceiling, and then see if you can grab that left foot with your right hand. So we're looking at a really nice stretch for your left quad. So you can kind of roll around on the bottom part of your thigh, just above your knee. And maybe find some nice little muscles that you can release there. Our quads get really tight, okay? And they throw off the whole balance in the legs. So roll that out here. All right. As you are ready, let that go. We'll have both arms down in front here and come back up on your hands if you were down on your elbows. We're going to switch sides. So if we just pull this right knee back to hands and knees, we're back where we started, okay? From here, you can take your big toes together, your knees together, and drop your hips under your heels. Drop your forehead. Come down into a little child's pose here. Just a little transition before we move to the next side. Maybe 3 or 4 breaths. Notice how your hips and your back feel. Notice any differences side to side. And from here, come back up to hands and knees. And we'll get the left knee up and start to circle out that hip. Okay, so keeping the hips level for now. And we'll open them up later, of course. So it's kind of interesting to notice you can't really move your knee that many places without lifting that hip. And rewind it. Okay, now pick up your hip. Make it a really big, silly movement. Notice how many more places you can go. All right, rewind it. And then we'll start to swing that left knee forward here. Drop the left foot outside your left hand. And let's rock the hips forward and back a few times. You can do your fingertips. We want to try and keep a long spine here. And just start to feel out the back of the left leg. Feel any tension in the left hamstring. Flexing that left ankle really helps. Okay, and when you press forward, you can feel the right hip flexor, maybe letting go a little bit. All right, so let's settle into a lunge. So come forward with your hips, and you can stay on your fingertips, definitely. Palms can come down, elbows can come down, whatever you have, block. But take a moment to gently strengthen your legs against the floor. So you're pressing down into your legs, a little bit active. Okay, we want to resist to release. Maybe coming down to elbows. Okay, maybe walking the left foot over to the left. Leveling off the hips. Play around with all those little variables. And then you can drop your head. Try to keep your neck nice and long though. So notice if your head comes down, move your shoulders away from it. Okay, this is a nice posture to just do the minimum effort. Just notice how sometimes we can get really good results from minimum effort rather than maximum effort. And let's start to explore turning this into a little bit of a twist. So we can start to rock some extra weight into the the right hand or elbow, looking over at the left knee. Press your hand to the inside of the left knee and just gently push it away. Okay, so we can stay right here if this is quite enough. Or we can bend that right knee, reach the left hand back for the right foot, and start to get that stretch, that quad stretch on the right side. So, okay, I like to roll on the muscle just above the kneecap, the attachment points of your thigh muscles. Okay, find a little sore spot, maybe you didn't even know was there. And then as you're ready, let go of that really nice quad stretch. Okay, we'll come back around in front with the hands, back up to your lunge, and we'll take it back to hands and knees from here. So come on back. Let's take another child's pose here. So toes together, hips to heels, drop your head, and just breathe deeply. Take a moment to notice how your hips feel, how your shoulders feel. And then as you're ready, bring yourself forward all the way down to your belly. So come down. You can just rest your forehead on the floor here. Hands underneath your shoulders. Elbows pulling in, like you're trying to move your elbows towards your hips. Okay, elbows always pulling in. And just think about pointing your tailbone at the center of the earth here. So you'll feel your glutes turn on right away. Your tailbone starts to point down and tuck. At the same time, your belly button is lifting, okay? It's the same, it's part of the action of the tailbone moving down. They're the same action, okay? Keep that really grounded tailbone and that lifted belly button. Maybe you'd like to start to lift your nose just off the mat. Okay, if that's still feeling good in your low back and your spine, you can lift your legs up off the mat. Maybe your palms start to float too. So you can feel your back body is holding you up here. So let's take maybe 3 more breaths, just activating your strong back body. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just feeling that lift in the belly button, the tuck in the tailbone. 2 more breaths. Lengthen all your arms and legs. 1 more breath, really long in the spine here. And then come on down, let it go. You take your arms out into goalposts here. We'll do a shoulder stretch, okay? And really nice stretch and opening for your chest and armpits. So if you have your arms arranged into a cactus shape, just look out at your left arm and use your left hand to roll onto your right side. So you're keeping your right arm out there. Once you get on your right side, you can slide the right elbow up or down until it's in the right place. So put the right elbow exactly where you want it, and then tuck your right knee up and in. And here we are. So lengthen your spine to the best of your ability. Breathe deeply here. And feel the right side of your chest and your armpit really peeling open to the floor. If you want to move more deeply into this heart opening, chest opening experience, you can use the left fingers on the ground to push down. And you can also push down into the right hand, okay? So think of pushing the floor away from you with your arms. Think of pushing the floor away from you with your legs as well. Further, you can reach up with your right hand. Sorry, that's your left hand. You can reach up with your left hand like you're trying to give the ceiling a hug. And you can drop the left arm across your back and tuck the fingers underneath your right side. Continue to push the floor away. If you're right-handed, you might be experiencing a lot of intense sensation in this side. Okay, right-handed folks tend to store a lot of our daily stuff right here in the right side of the chest. And that's all right. Maybe one more really big breath here, okay? All right, bring all of this back around through center. Take your time. You have tons of time. Just come on through, back to your belly. Make your goalpost arms, and now we're looking out to the right. And your right hand can roll you onto your left side. So once you get on your side, then I recommend you slide your left elbow up or down to where it feels just right. And it might be different from the other side. So check that out. And then tuck your left knee up and in. Okay. And I'll spin around to face you. So once you've settled in a little bit more, you can start to fine tune it. And you can move more deeply if you like, or you can just back it up by dropping your shoulders toward the floor. But I like to add in a little resistance here. So think of resisting the floor gently. It really doesn't have to be much resistance at all to make a big difference. Especially press down into that left hand. If you want to deepen it, okay, the right fingers start to press down. The right fingers can reach up. You can drop the right arm across your back and stuck the fingers underneath your left side. So if you are left-handed, you might be experiencing so much more intensity on this side. You might be holding your tension on this side of your chest. Just notice that stuff, guys. It's not good or bad, it just is. Taking your last couple of breaths here. Allow any remaining tension to drain out of the left side of your rib cage, your shoulder. As you are ready, take your time, rolling back through center. Rolling back onto your belly, hands under shoulders. And we can press it up through hands and knees here. And let's take a puppy pose, right? So hands are hips over knees. So we try not to let them move forward or back too much. Keep your hips over your knees. Reach your hands out like you're doing a down dog or a child's pose. And just drop your forehead. And we'll take some time here in puppy pose or open heart pose. Anahatasana. Find your breath here and find that your spine can be really long. Maybe even walk your fingers a little bit further forward to lengthen it that much more. And then try this. Try lifting your belly button in towards your spine so that more extension happens in your upper back rather than your lower back. So if you lift that belly button, your upper back can kind of unroll. Okay, if you're feeling pretty good here and you just want to hang here, you just do that. Forehead down, lower belly lifting. If you feel like you want to get your chin to the floor, you can press your hands down. So fingertips press down, palms lift up, maybe even your elbows lift up. And you can think of dropping your chest or your throat toward the floor. Everyone's really different here, so I'm just giving you a lot of options so you have room to play. But either way, maybe one more big breath in as you peel open your big chest toward the floor. And as you're ready, walk yourself back up and out of this. So hands come back up and in. And Let's sit your hips to one side here, and we'll end up back on the floor. So before we come down, before we come all the way down, go ahead and drop your fingers behind you and just sit on your fingertips. Okay, and then your hands are just about under your shoulders. And then you can drop to your elbows and just make sure your elbows are just about under your shoulders. So you're just sitting on your fingertips here. Use your shoulder blades to scoop your heart upward. Send it way up high. And let's take a little time here, just feeling that shoulder blade moving upward feeling. And then I want you to feel like your spine is just naturally lengthening as a result of your rib cage moving upward. The back of your neck feels really long and you have a slight tuck in your chin. And you might even feel like you want to drop your head. But please keep the length in the back of your neck and the tuck in your chin, okay? And we'll take a few more breaths right here. Move your big heart up. Tuck your chin. All right, as you're ready to transition out of this, pull your chin back in towards your chest. You can move your elbows out to the side and lay yourself all the way down. Okay, once you've landed, you can take your arms out to the side like cactuses. And we'll just cross the right knee over the left from here. And you can single cross at the knee or you can double cross at the ankle. Either way, move your hips a little bit to the right. And then drop your knees to the left. Okay, look over away from your knees. Look to the right. We'll take some long, slow breath right here. Thinking long spine inhales. Belly button to spine, exhale. So remember to arch your spine upward as you twist so that you get so much extra space in your chest. All right, we'll just switch sides here. So bring the legs back up and in. Untangle your knees and then tangle them the other way. This time the left leg is on top. Okay, move your hips a little to the left and you can cross at the ankle if you choose. Drop the knees to the right and you look to the left. So here's where we really want to press the shoulder blades down and lift the spine up. So we're getting the maximum amount of space in that left side here. Use your belly button to make strong exhales. And then we'll bring that back to center. So come on back, untangle everything, and find your resting posture. So lengthen your legs, lengthen your arms. Take a moment to find your ideal rest place, and then let go completely. Let go of controlling your breath. Just let it run wild. Let your body soften entirely. Your jaw hangs open. Let your thoughts go free. Just bring your awareness back again and again to right now. So please keep resting just like this for as long as you can. At least 5 minutes is best. More is even better. But this is where I will leave you today. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I hope you feel great.